I grew up in a Christian family. My dad was the minister of the church that we went to, 3 older brothers, and everything was really good. Couldn't ask for a better childhood, really. And then when I was about 13, 14, I stopped going to school, had some mental health difficulties, and just spiralled out of control from there, using various drugs from cannabis to cocaine, speed, anything I could get my hands on, really. Then when I was 20, my then girlfriend fell pregnant. Ivy was born in 2012. The relationship with my then partner wasn't great. And when we split up, she took Ivy with her and stopped me seeing Ivy. From there, my life spiralled out of control completely. I started drinking every day, using drugs, whatever I could get my hands on. And my mental health went downhill big time. And I tried to take my own life on a few occasions. On the final occasion, I locked myself in the flat and set fire to it and took a massive overdose. Fortunately, looking back now, my mum and dad were waiting outside because they thought something was going to happen. And so they got the fire brigade. My dad got into the flat and with the help of the police, got me out. I was then arrested and taken to hospital. I took all my lines out whenever they put anything in to try and help me, to try and counteract the overdose, and refused to eat, so I was sectioned. When I was granted leave, one of the first things I did was go and drink again. There was a few months of drinking a lot, not really doing anything good, causing a lot of trouble and heartache for my mum and dad. And because of everything that had been going on, I went back into the psychiatric hospital on like a voluntary section. While I was in there, I snuck out again to get drunk, got a bottle of vodka, drank it, went back. Because I was drunk and being quite abusive and kicking off, the police were called. When the police got there, I assaulted one of the police officers, who then arrested me, took me back to the cells, and I was remanded to Dovegate prison. While I was sat in Dovegate my first night, they put me in a cell, and it was horrible. It stunk, and it's dirty. And I just remember praying that God would just take me. I didn't want to live anymore. I'd hit the lowest I could hit, and there was nothing left. I fell asleep crying. When I woke up the next morning, I just had these words going round and round in my head, and it was, I will not boast in anything, no gifts, no power, no wisdom, but I will boast in Jesus Christ, his death and resurrection. And that's the verse of How Deep the Father's Love that was sung when I was baptised years ago. I hadn't heard that song for years, it just came to me. And when one of these words were going round in my head over and over again, it was like God just came in and he wrapped his arms around me and was saying, it's okay, everything's going to be all right. That one moment changed me, and I knew God was real then. I knew God was going to help me and I could lean on him and he'd support me through anything, basically. First thing I did when my dad picked me up from the prison and took me home, I went and drank. That was in the November, and then it carried on till the April the following year. I did start going to church again. I wasn't fully committed, but I had started going again. The 9th of April, I got sentenced to 3 years for the arson. Started going to chapel in prison. A guy called Ken, who was working for UCB at the time, started coming to see me every week, chatting with me, and not just about church and being a Christian and God. He just chatted to me like a mate, like a normal person, and that was the big thing in prison. No one treats you like a human, but Ken did. And it was like this one light in a very dark and horrible place. My morning routine was I'd get up, I'd do my morning workout, and then I'd read the word for today, and it just set me up for the day. It was always a good thought, something that you could think on throughout the day and ponder. And then if I wasn't sure on anything, when Ken came on the Wednesday, I could say to him, Ken, what does this mean? I've read this scripture, could you explain it a bit to me? And it was great, a great thing to have. Got myself a job in the education block as a teaching assistant to the lecturers and the teachers up there. Helped support other prisoners who couldn't read, helped to teach them to read and helped them to get a basic education for when they were released. I also trained to be a drug peer support worker in there. So I was supporting guys on the wing who were struggling, maybe going through their detox or the rattle, and I'd support them and try and help them out as much as I could. My mum and dad would have Ivy every week, so every week without fail I'd speak to her on the phone and I'd keep up to date with her, what she was doing and how she was growing. In my cell I just had pictures of her all the way around. It was like a timeline as she grew through the time I was in there. I was released from prison 2015. I got tagged, so I got 4 months knocked off my sentence and went back to live with my mum and dad. This time, this release compared to the last one was completely different. I didn't even want to go and have a drink. I walked up the drive when I got took home that day and my daughter was standing there, who we hadn't seen for 15 months. And it's like, yeah, it's going to be different now. Everything's got to be different. So I've got this job working for Restart. It's a Christian charity, provide housing for ex-offenders. And I get to support those people who are going through exactly the same journey that I was going through. And I've actually had some of the guys I work with come up to me and say, do you know, if it was somebody who hadn't lived it, I wouldn't talk to them. But because you have, you know what it's like, you know the score. I'm prepared to work with you, I'm prepared to listen to what you say. And then from there, I carried on working. I met my now wife, Emily. We were together about 6 months and I knew it was right. So we got engaged last August. And then we got married this August. And so now, yeah, I'm married to Emily. She's got a son, Joseph, who's 4 now. He lives with us. And Ivy now lives with me full time as well. So it's just fantastic, yeah, the way God has opened doors every single step through my life. There's lots of people in situations similar to what I went through. And if I was to meet someone like that, I'd say to him, just lean on God. God will support you through anything. If you lean on him, listen to him and walk the path that he sets out for you rather than walking the path that you want to walk, you'll get there.